Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and today we are going to be reviewing the Sire P5R. Let's do this. This is the P5R from Sire. We've already reviewed the P5 5-string as well as the 4-string, and this is the 5-string P5R. The R stands for Rosewood. During my review of the original P5 as well as the 5-string P5, I noted that the pickup lacked a little bit of bottom end. Sire actually made a revision to the pickup, and this pickup is called the Marcus Vintage Fat Precision Revolution set. So this is a new pickup that's supposed to deliver a bit more bottom end compared to the regular P5. And that pairs nicely with the whole more vintage vibe that you get from this P5R here. Big thank you to Sire for providing this bass for us to review. I really appreciate it. Now let's go over the specs of the Sire P5R. This bass features a North American alder body finish in a 3-tone sunburst. The other colors available are the vintage white as well as the natural. But in my opinion, the 3-tone sunburst does the vintage vibe the best. Just like with the P5, we have a taut pickguard, contrasting whatever finish you have going on here, and I think it works nicely with this 3-tone sunburst. And surrounded by this taut pickguard is the new Marcus Vintage Fat Precision Revolution pickup, which is supposed to deliver more low end, as I mentioned previously. And we are going to put this side to side with our regular P5, with the stock pickup to see if there's any real difference. For controls, just like with the regular P5, we have a master volume and a master tone control. This is a passive instrument, it requires no batteries, it is a pretty typical P-bass. But the one thing that really makes this bass stand out is the 5th string, as 5-string P-basses are not common in this price category, and we'll talk more about the pricing later. For the bridge, this is the standard Marcus Miller 5 Series bridge, the vintage style bridge with the grooved saddles allowing you to fine-tune your string spacing. I've said before, I'm not really a fan of this bridge. It's a sturdy bridge overall, but I'm not really a fan of the grooved saddles. Moving on to the neck, we have a 20-fret, 34-inch scale roasted maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard. We have a 9.5-inch radius and a 47mm nut width. This is the same nut width that we have on the regular P5 5-string, and it's actually wider than what you get on the P7 and the P10. Another nice feature of the neck is the truss rod adjustment here at the heel of the neck. You can easily adjust the truss rod without needing to remove the pickguard, remove the neck, or detune any of the strings. Always a nice touch. And then moving up to the headstock, we have a 4x1 tuner configuration with the Sire tuners. I've criticized them before for working well but being a bit heavy and contributing to neck dive, and we'll see if that's the case a little bit later in this video. We can also see the bar string retainer to retain all 5 strings and give us good tension on the nut, so that's always a nice touch with 5-string basses. And we also have the Marcus Miller lettering with the metallic font that I've complimented before. Now let's go ahead and turn this bass around. Around back, we can see that the burst is not continued to the back of the bass, I'm assuming to save cost. There's not really a lot to see here as this is a passive instrument, so we can see the regular single color finish back here, the 5 string ferrules for the ability to string through the body or string through the bridge with this Sire in-house bridge, and the angled neck heel with the fender-like neck attachment with a neck plate and 4 screws. And then we can see the back of this roasted maple neck. This is a gorgeous neck. And then moving up to the headstock, we can see the back of these open gear tuners. We can also see that this bass, along with all other Sires, are produced in Indonesia. And how much does the 5-string Sire P5R weigh? This particular example comes in at 9.4 pounds, which is relatively well weighted for a 5-string Fender-ish style bass. But as we all know, weight really doesn't matter if the bass does not balance well. So let's see how the P5R balances. In the lap, with no strap, we do get a fair bit of neck dive, and I attribute that to the heavy tuners. We already swapped out the tuners on my regular P5 with a set of Godo GB528s, and those improved the balance significantly. You can see my video on that, that'll be linked in the description below. I'm probably going to perform the same mod as well as replace the bridge on this bass just because I like tinkering and stuff like that. I'm probably not going to make a video on it because it's going to be the exact same process as what I did with the regular P5, but this bass would definitely benefit from lighter tuners. On the lap with the strap, We do get a little bit of neck dive. I definitely feel it pulling down. It's not the worst tug in the world, but it's definitely there and definitely noticeable. Standing up with the strap, I get only a slight bit of neck dive. You can see it starting to kind of slide down. And how much does the Sire P5R cost? These basses come in at $534 for the 4-string and $641 for the 5-string. Relatively well priced, especially compared to a Fender or a Squier. I don't believe they offer any real 5-string P basses until you get into the north of $1,000 category. I know they have that active Squier P bass that they have in a 5-string that's like a P and a humbucker or something like that, but that doesn't count. But now let's see what this bass sounds like. You all know what you need to do. Go ahead and hit that like button so my hand will turn back to normal. Thanks. That is our Sire P5R. The R stands for Rosewood once again. So this is a passive P bass. We have a volume and a tone control, and what you heard was with the tone at 100%. We'll play with that a little bit more, but I have to say that the edgeless fingerboard is an absolute joy to play. Try any one of these and you'll definitely agree with me that it just is super comfortable. You don't have any fret poke. The edges of the frets just melt right into the fingerboard. I've had this bass sitting around for quite a bit now, and it just shifted from basically winter to summer over here in New England. And I gotta say that this bass has been pretty sturdy throughout the whole climate change, so good job. Now let's listen to our Sire P5 5-string one more time, and then we'll play with the tone control. Now let's take the tone down to about 50%. And here's the tone down all the way. Very nice. Let's take the tone back up and grab our pick. pick tone. You definitely notice that, I guess if you listen back to back with the P5, which, well, we're going to definitely do, this definitely has a lot more, I guess, low-end character and a lot less kind of growly mids. Still a very nice sounding bass, and the character is, again, very slightly different from the regular P5. We'll do a back-to-back in just a little bit, but let's take the tone down all the way now with a pick. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and put the pick away and give this bass a slap with the tone all the way open. Very nice indeed. Now the moment of truth, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's play this bass with the tone all the way open, with a pick, finger style, and with slap, back to back with our Sire P5. Very interesting. So as I said, the Sire P5 definitely has a bit more like bitey mid presence, where this is a bit of a smoother tone and has a bit more bottom end. I definitely appreciate the difference between the two, and I think in the future I'm going to string this guy up with some flats. Now the only differences between these two basses, besides, the factory pickup, which is different, and then the necks, is that the Sire P5 that we have here is an all-bridge bridge, as well as Godot tuners, and I had a plec performed on it, so that bass has been plecked. But now we have reached the end, and it's time for us to throw some drums behind this bass. So here are my final thoughts on the Sire P5R. I think that Sire has done a great job here building another mid-tier 5-string P bass. Again, they are dominating this particular price point at the $500 to $600-ish mark. These 5 series basses are killer, absolutely killer. Not only stock, but great mod platforms as well. And I think that the P5 and the P5R definitely contrast nicely. So what am I going to rate the Sire P5R 5-string? I'm gonna rate this bass 4 claws out of 5. These are absolutely stellar basses. My only real gripe, which stands with pretty much all 5 series Sires that are vintage inspired, are the heavier tuners which cause a bit of neck dive, especially on the 5 strings. We've shown before that a set of Godot tuners can absolutely alleviate that, and in my opinion, if these things came factory with those Godot GB 528 tuners, this thing would be a perfect instrument, especially for the price. When it comes to looking for a budget 5-string P bass, you only have to really ask, what color Sire do you want and what kind of fingerboard do you want at this point, because they are absolutely killing it. You do not get this type of quality and attention to detail from Squier, in my opinion. So I appreciate the diversity of the lineup. I think Sire is doing a great job, and I think they need to keep it up. But let me know what you think about the Sire P5R 5-string down in the comments below. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join our Discord channel, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Sire P5R. And as always, until we groove again.